What's up, everybody? It's Justin. Welcome to Live Ask Me Anything, my favorite day of the week. The weekly live AMA. We call them AMAs. Ask Me Anything. Let's do some housekeeping real quick. I'm going to make sure everything's working. I'm here alone again. I just lost the wizard. He's on his way out. So I'm going to make sure everything's working. Everything is properly set up. Make sure you can see me and everything. And you can see the whiteboard, which I'm going to be using tonight because we have a pretty cool main topic. We're going to talk about a couple different things tonight that I want to touch on. Some questions I got throughout the week, but one main point that I really want to make. Let's make sure this is up. Check. There it is. Okay, cool. I'm going to click for more button so I can see all of your, hey, I'm getting waves and thumbs up. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Christy. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Jackie. What's up, everybody? Awesome. Thank you. You guys are on time. You're better about punctuality than I am. This is awesome. Okay, so first things first, what we want to do, click the share button, okay? Because remember, we're not in the academy, we're on the Clovis Culture page. You can share this, it's public. So click that share button. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to click share now public. Boom. Has been shared to your timeline. There we go, I did it. So that's on my Justin Nault timeline. You can do that too. You can share this to your timeline so that your friends can see it. And remember, as always, you can tag your friends. If you think I'm going to tell you what we're talking about here in a minute, and you can tag your friends and make sure that they see it. So if you tag them, it's a public post. They click on that tag that you made, brings them right over to the Clovis Culture page where they can see this, and it's going to be awesome. Carla, I can see you and hear you, and you want upside down. Yes, I had set up help from the wizard today, but then he took off. So hopefully nothing fails. No catastrophic fails, because that would suck, because I'm not the tech guy, not even close. I'm the muscles and food and stuff guy. Totally different. Okay, so, hey, we have some, what's up, Casey? What's up, Josh? Hello! This is awesome. Mikey's here. Guys, Mikey just got married. Say congratulations, Mikey. You're a husband now. Yay! That's awesome, brother. That's why I was just in Rhode Island with him. He's getting married. Totally cool. Anyway, all right, let's get started. This is Live Ask Me Anything, number 21. A couple things I want to talk about real quick. I'm just gonna hammer this out right off the beginning. I usually wait to give you an offer at the end or whatever we do for hashtags. Some of you guys know the hashtag system. If you're new, you're about to learn about it. So, lots of exciting stuff happening in Clovis Kids. We're building out a whole bunch of content for Clovis Kids. Like I told you last week, Clovis Kids takes a little bit longer because we have sections. We have like ages 3 to 7, we have ages 8 to 12, we have ages 13 to 17. So I'm making a lot of different content for different groups. So it's like doing everything 3 times over. And then the way that you have to break down complex nutrition science, let's say, into such a simple way of just like, how is a 5-year-old going to understand this? It's a little more difficult. So this content, we're working on it all the time, I promise you, every day. It just takes more time to build out. Also, for those of you that don't know, we launched I Am Clovis. I Am Clovis is a private membership portal. We already have over 70 members, which is just crazy. So now, whenever you order custom macros from me, you get custom macros, you get the approved foods list, you get access to the I Am Clovis Facebook group, and the membership-only portal, which is its own website. That's iamclovis.com. So iamclovis.com is fantastic. It's a boatload of video content. It's supplement recommendations, it's fitness recommendations, book recommendations, article recommendations, podcast recommendations. So today we dropped a bunch of new video content that I filmed. This is about macronutrients, micronutrients, basically masterclasses. Don't leave yet. If you're a member of I Am Clovis, don't go watch the videos after or watch them tomorrow or something. Tonight, you got to pay attention to what we're talking about. I just want to let you know there is new content there, and we're actually going to add new content every single day this week. This stuff's a little easier to bang out because all the adult stuff is my life. That's what I've lived for the last 7 years. So it's very easy for me to talk to you guys the way I do in these AMAs every week. So if you want in on that, I'm just going to do this right off the top. All you have to do is comment on this video or any Clovis video for that matter. So you just comment hashtag buy custom macros. So all you have to do literally on this video is just hashtag buy custom macros. They're $97, and that comes with access to iamclovis.com, so you get all that exclusive video content. We're releasing new content all this week. It's just stuff you're not going to get anywhere else. That's going to be an exclusive membership-only portal. So that's iamclovis.com. And now we're moving on to AMA. For those of you that don't know, this is the weekly Ask Me Anything, and I pull questions from the Clovis Academy, which is a free but private Facebook group. We have 770-something members now, and people ask me questions there all week. I get questions on social media, I get them on the Clovis Academy, in the Clovis Kids group, I get them via email or text message if people know me well. So I get questions all week, and I kind of tally them up and see what people are talking about and what we need to talk about. So this week, what happened is fitness has kind of crept its way back in, and a lot of people are talking about fitness, and there's a lot of misconceptions about how I feel about fitness. So we're going to talk about fitness, and the title of this is called Being Normal Will Kill You. So Ask Me Anything, number 21 is Being Normal Will Kill You. So what do I mean by that? It's a little bit controversial. So there are a lot of misconceptions around my personal beliefs around fitness. So what happens is most people come to me and they're very, very sick. By the time they get to me, they've tried multiple things. They're 200 pounds, 250 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, whatever it may be. People get to me and they're very, very sick. So in the beginning, I have to meet people where they are, and I have to tailor advice to fit the audience. So there's some of you watching me right now that have lost 100 pounds. So the way that I talk to you in email or on I Am Clovis or in the Facebook group or whatever, I'm going to talk to you much differently 100 pounds lighter than I was speaking to you the first day that we met when you said, hey, I'm really desperate and I need your help, right? You're 100 pounds lighter now. Things are much different, but I have to meet you where you are. So when people come to me and they're that sick, they're that overweight, my advice is generally stop eating carbohydrates and stop working out. I take away intense exercise. Say maybe you can walk or something like that, right? But I take away intense exercise. So this often gets taken as Justin is anti-carb and anti-fitness. Like Justin is saying, we can just lay around and as long as our nutrition is perfect, that's all we need to do for overall health. That's not true. Nothing could be further from the truth. Anybody who knows me in my personal life, I got some very close friends watching right now, I am the exact opposite of anti-fitness. I have done just about every single physical activity on planet Earth, literally. And I've done most of them for very extended periods of times, like years, okay? I've been physically active since I was a little boy, played hockey for 10 years, and went from there. So I've done literally everything. But I have to meet you where you are, like I said, and we go from there. And as things progress, I can take you into different goal settings. And in the beginning, maybe you can walk. Then we can talk about some yoga. Then we can talk about some form of jogging or something like that. You know, we'll get there. But it doesn't mean I'm anti-fitness, not by any means. And that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to clear those up tonight, and we're going to get into the details of this, okay? Because today's reality is that 2/3 of Americans are overweight. 2/3 of Americans are overweight. Think about that. That's more than 60% of the population is overweight. So, if you want to be healthy, you have no choice but to go against the grain, we say, right? Like you have to go against the grain. You have to go against societal norms because society's normal is not healthy. Normal is not healthy. Healthy is not normal, okay? Being normal will kill you. All of the normal people out there who want you to fit their little mold, all the normal people are sick, right? It's crazy. So your friends, your family, whoever, if you've been with Clovis for a while, we talk about not shitting in the punch bowl and all these things, right? Your friends and family are looking at you like you're the weird one, right? You're trying to get healthy, so you're the weird one. Like the entire world thinks I'm weird all the time. I am healthy, and that makes me the weird one. Do you see how ridiculous that is? Like, do you see how ridiculous that is? Literally. Me standing here as a dude of normal shape and stature and size and healthy and a lot of energy. I'm freaking weird, right? I'm weird all the time. That's ridiculous. So tonight we're going to jump into that, and we're going to figure out why that happens, and we're going to figure out what it means for you. We're going to talk a lot about your kids, because as you guys know, I love helping all you. Clovis Kids is my whole heart. All I want to do is help the kids. I want to change the future of the country by helping the kids. So we have to talk about these societal norms. We're going to touch on a lot of them in really interesting ways with movies and TV and stuff, right? So we're going to talk about these societal norms and what it means for your kids and how we can help your kids escape it. We're going to talk about the number one issue that I see with parenting. This is a big, big deal. The number one issue that I see with parenting, we're gonna talk about fitness and a few other topics if we have time. I have a couple preloaded questions people asked about when we get to the live Q&A section. So if you stay to the end, we'll explore this idea of societal norms, how you fit into that, how your kids fit into that, what they mean for your future. We will talk definitively about my stance on fitness, how I feel about fitness. Spoiler alert, not anti-fitness, right? And then we'll jump into some great questions I got. I got some questions about pets and cultures and some fun little things we're gonna talk on. Just hit those real quick during the live Q&A. Now you can jump in the live Q&A too. So you can ask me questions live in the comments, I'll check them and we can jump in, okay? So real quick, get this out of the way. Clovis Academy, you know this. For those of you that don't know me, if this is your first Ask Me Anything video, if this is your first Clovis video, my name is Justin Nault. I am the founder of Clovis. I am a certified nutritional therapist. I am a certified specialist in sports nutrition. I invented a line of paleo-friendly nutritional powders called the Perfect Paleo Powder. And I'm also in the business of transformations. I transform lives. Hundreds and hundreds of lives. As many as I possibly can, as many lives as I can get my hands on, I transform them. Lose 50 pounds in 8 weeks, lose 20 pounds in 4 weeks, lose 40 pounds in 60 days, whatever it may be. I transform lives. That's what I'm trying to do tonight. So we're going to talk about transforming the lives of you and your children. And tonight we're going to talk more specifically about fitness, okay? This idea that being normal will kill you. So let's jump in. The entire world thinks I'm weird all the time, like we just talked about, okay? And now that I'm Justin from Clovis, with all these videos and things like that, which is really strange. I've gotten recognized at music gigs now, and I'm like, huh? Like people just don't realize I was a lifelong musician. But anyway, so I can't go anywhere because of that, because of who I am. I can't go anywhere without somebody questioning my life. Like literally questioning my decisions, questioning my life, right? It's just this constant, everyone wants to talk about nutrition all the time, and that's cool. Like I get it, I love this. This is why I do this. The more I can talk about it, the more people I can help, okay? But everyone's always questioning me about stuff. And what's interesting is really if we stop and think about my life, right? So this is what I do. I eat real food, I eat whole foods, I don't eat processed foods, I do 1 to 2 intense workouts per week, and I do some form of daily movement practice. I mean, that's it. That's literally like what my life is, and people think that I'm super weird. I'm the weirdest guy on earth because I have muscles and I won't eat bread. Like somehow I'm weird. I'm no longer society's definition of normal, okay? So, I mean, we have to understand how ridiculous that is. I want to dive in and talk about what this means for you and your family. But first, I want to give you another little glimpse into my life. And through what I say by my life is, I mean my dad, okay? So let's talk about my dad, because I travel with my dad a lot. We're in business together. We do tons of stuff together. We lift weights together. We eat together, whatever, right? So this will give you an idea of what I mean by societal norms. So my dad is 59 years old. If you put my dad in a room with other 59-year-olds, he is very quickly singled out as the odd man out. He's very strange. He's far from normal. Now remember, I'm not saying he's strange or far from normal. I'm saying this is what society thinks. If you put him in a group of people his own age, why? Because we have all accepted that generally 60-year-old men are balding and have a big beer belly and they complain about getting out of bed in the morning and they can barely do any of the physical stuff that they used to do. They're over the hill, all these terms like over the hill, right? Then you see my dad standing there. My dad is 10% body fat and deadlifts over 300 pounds. You can see his abs, right? And this is very, very strange. It's very strange for a 59-year-old. I brag about my dad all the time. Why? Because he credits all of his health and wellness to me. So of course, I brag about him all the time. But no, really, it's crazy, man. The idea that the one healthy person in the room at this point is the super strange one, right? It's crazy. Like, it's only when you compare him to societal norms that you find this underlying issue. And the underlying issue is we're constantly being conditioned. We're being conditioned by these societal norms, and your kids are too. So I always want to spin this to kids, even if you don't have kids. If you're going to have kids in the future or whatever, it's very important that kids understand this because we've been conditioned since we were little kids, all right? So let's talk about the societal norms for men, just for a second. So me and the Clovis team, there's me, Josh, and Anna, we're working all day on Clovis stuff, making content, talking about the AMA, whatever. And we start talking about movies, right? And just how our kids are brainwashed in movies. Like Josh was talking to me about the movie Brave and how the dad's projected in that. And some movie, How to Train a Dinosaur or something like that, the way the dad is in that. So, and all the dads are big, giant, dumb ogres, right? Like big, burly beards, huge bellies. They're animated to be 4 times the size of every other character, right? And they're kind of just, I drink beer and I'm a warrior and I do this, right? And sitcoms are the same. Sitcoms have pissed me off for decades, right? Because every single dad is a dumbass. Like, it's like Everybody Loves Raymond or King of Queens or Roseanne. Well, everybody loves Roseanne right now. She's super popular, right? Think about it. Like, all these dads are fat and stupid. And it's just constantly like, they're just dumbasses. And they have, like, it's, all right, don't even get me started right now. 2018, this dad bod shit, right? What you guys don't understand, I know it sounds fun, it sounds funny, right? But it is constant conditioning. It's constant conditioning for kids too, like this dad bod thing. Like if you go back several decades and look at movies and TV, it was never this way. It really was like, sure, there was like the Archie Bunker type that came in, or like Al Bundy, right? But like look at their bodies and things, right? And everyone was making jokes about them being fat. If you go back to like Animal House in 1978, right? Jim Belushi's character, 1978, he was the fat guy in Animal House. And by today's norms, he's skinny. Go back and watch that. Like, if you go back and watch Animal House from 78, the fat guy in the movie is just a normal, typical, average, everyday guy in the year 2018. Because this is what we've gotten used to. So this is my idea of being normal will kill you, right? So you can literally watch societal norms change, like characters on TV and characters in movies and stuff. These things shift as we just blindly accept our fate as constantly getting sicker and sicker and sicker and more unhealthy year after year after year. And you see it portrayed in movies, right? The healthy guys in movies, like think like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, right? It's like the healthy guys, they're always assholes. The healthy, like strong, powerful dudes, they're always assholes. It's just weird. So this might sound silly to you guys, but I want you to understand the societal norms. And then we can get into why I'm even talking about this, right? Because we're supposed to be talking about fitness, right? So we're going to talk about fitness and the conditioning that has happened to you. Because you don't even understand where your understanding of fitness has come from. It's all through conditioning, and I suffered through this like crazy, right? This, again, I'm trying to give you guys the same tools that I have to get you to the place that I've gotten with my personal health, but I'm trying to get you there by avoiding all the obstacles, right? Avoid all the bullshit and just get to where you need to be to live your happiest, healthiest, most fulfilled life. I want that for you, and I want that for your kids, okay? So, you've been conditioned by society since day one. We all do what society tells us to do, and this is where your ideas of fitness came from. And I bring up movies and TVs again because that plays a huge role in my story. Like when I grew up, I was watching movies from the 80s, and these action heroes were king, right? Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? I'd watch all these movies, Rocky and Commando and all that. These guys were just kings of the movie industry at that time, right? I was very young. So what ends up happening is, fast forward, I'm 15 years old, and I'm taking caffeine pills and ephedrine pills. And I'm addicted to fitness. I'm working out every day. I'm running on a treadmill. I think my buddy Mikey's in this thread, man. We used to go to that little, I almost just swore, sorry. We used to go to that tiny little Nutri-Shop place and get those like green pill, those green tea fat burners, right? I used to take Hydroxycut and all this shit, man, because I was just conditioned. Like that was my idea of like what a man was. Which is like now these kids are seeing like these big dumb ogre dads and like King of Queens and you know that kind of stuff that you're getting conditioned, right? So I just want you to understand that conditioning is very real. And for me, that conditioning became this idea like when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So it's just like, for me, just bodybuild. The bigger muscles, the better. The bigger muscles, the more of a man you were, the more you could kick ass, right? Now, years later, I'm 31, and like bodybuilders are the people I'm least afraid of in the world because they're ridiculously unhealthy. You know, so it's like, oh, I kicked that guy's ass, sorry. But at the time, that's what I thought. That's like what I thought manliness was, and it's conditioning, right? So when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, our hammers are determined by mainstream media, magazines, fitness influencers, whatever it may be, right? So when everything is a hammer, when all you have is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. So this is where your fitness ideas come from, and you don't even know it. So you need to lose weight, right? Everybody wants to lose weight. You have to eat less, you have to count your calories, take in less calories, you have to work out more, right? It's what we've all been told, it's what we all know. That's a blanket statement. Everybody must do it. You gotta track your calories, you gotta work out, as many days a week as you can, right? And if this doesn't work for you, it's your fault. If it doesn't work, it's your fault. So this breeds misery, resentment, guilt. You feel guilty about yourself because something doesn't work for you. And then you graduate into self-loathing, right? And if you're an average person, talking about fitness and nutrition, normal conversations about fitness, like water cooler talk, right? Normal conversations about fitness and nutrition always begin with, ugh. That's like the go-to, right? That's how you know people are talking about diet and exercise, diet and working out, right? She's like, oh, I have to go to bar class. Oh, that spin class almost killed me. Oh, I signed up for CrossFit. It was super expensive. I've gone twice and my whole body hurts. I don't want to go back, right? It's like constantly, I have to go for a 2-mile run. This is terrible. It's constantly like miserable. Everything's ridiculously difficult. You starve yourself. You work out all the time. Nothing works. And you're always miserable. So what happens here is now we talk about society's norms, right? This is how celebrities happen, right? We've reached a place like in 2018 where all you have to do is literally have a halfway decent body and you're looked at like a god from Greek mythology. Like we've gotten so far from healthy being normal that now literally all you have to do is be like kind of decent and you can be a celebrity, like just based on that, because health has become completely unattainable because all we've given people is a hammer. You have this hammer, and that's it. If the hammer doesn't work for you, you're screwed. If the hammer does work for you, you're Brad Pitt. Congratulations. Right? It's crazy. So what's happened is normal, right? We have society's idea of normal, which, 2018, is fat, sick, like the documentary, and nearly dead. Fat, sick, and nearly dead equals normal. Right? This is being normal will kill you. And I want to talk about how this translates to your kids, right? So I'm going to bring it into your kids because this is the number one problem I see with parenting. So before I jump into that, I just want to see, we've been going for a little while here, and I know this is kind of a long-winded one. I promise we're going to get into nitty-gritty. We're going to talk about fitness and how I approach fitness, how you should approach fitness with your kids. But I need you to understand that the last thing you want to be in 2018 is normal. You do not want to be normal, okay? And you don't want your kids to be normal. So let's take a little break to see what you guys are chatting about over here on this window. Truth! Hey, Raya. Who else we got in here? Any comments? You guys thinking anything? I can just keep going. I just want to check and make sure I don't lose anybody. Yeah, we're going back to, I can see you and hear you in the beginning. All right. So you guys are still with me? You're hanging? Truth? Awesome. Let's keep going. Okay. So the number one problem I see with parenting is this idea of normal, right? And I see it in Clovis Kids all the time. Now remember, Clovis Kids is a private membership-only platform. So I think we have 100 plus kids in there right now. So it's just like a tremendous amount of kids that we're just trying to get healthy. And the number one issue I see is your kids want to be normal. Your kids desperately want to be normal, okay? They want to fit in. They don't want to stand out. They want to fit in. And you want your kid to be normal. I know this because I deal with a tremendous number of parents. You want your kid to be normal. I talked about this in the AMA, how to set your kids free in 30 days, right? I don't want my kid to be different. You want your kid to be normal. It's okay to admit that, but it is literally the number one problem I see with parenting is worrying about what is normal, okay? This goes with nutrition, this goes with fitness. Like why? Why does everybody want to be normal? I get it, it's our genetic coding, we want to fit with the tribe, blah, 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 all these things, right? But normal is a real problem. Why does everybody want their children to be normal? This is what happens when families, in particular, bend to these societal norms and they just say, we're going to be a normal, everyday American family, right? So by the time your children are old enough to understand English, they know a few undeniable truths, right? We talk about movies and TV, right? So let's just go into what kids see. Kids are ridiculously observant. We know this. The lead by example thing, all this. Teachers will tell you it, pastors will tell you it, the government will tell you this, like your kids are going to do what you do, right? So these kids know from a very young age, dads are overweight and out of shape, right? Moms hate their bodies. Adults think exercise sucks and TV is awesome. Adults hate healthy food and complain about it constantly. Adults make commitments to get healthy and never follow through with them. Adults hate their jobs. Adults drink alcohol and eat shit food because life is too stressful. Basically, kids know that being a grown-up sucks. Right? I know, this AMA is depressing as shit. I'm really sorry. But we need to talk about normal because what you guys need to understand is you're constantly, and I did it too. Trust me, I've been there. I was so addicted to this shit. I'm literally a recovering fitness addict and orthorexic and body dysmorphia, right? It's literally, I've been here. So you just want what works for other people to work for you. This is what's normal. So you're caving to peer pressure constantly, wanting to be normal, and it's making everybody miserable. We need to help your children escape this conditioning, okay? So I'm trying to motivate you here a little bit, and you guys know from the manifestos and all these things that we do in the Clovis Academy, I'm not big on motivation. Tonight's a little bit of a motivating thing here because I want to save you from this. I want to save your kids from this. I want to help you get out and view this from a different angle of oh, he's kind of right. I fucking hate walking on the treadmill. Why do I do that? Right? Why? If you ever stopped and think, I hate this. I hate this thing that I'm doing. Why do I do it? Because somebody else told me to do it, right? So, and that's what I mean by this is if everybody around you is telling you to do different things, if you start changing the diet of your kid, hey, my kid doesn't drink soda anymore, and you have Auntie What's-Her-Face over here who's just that's not fair, honey, you're depriving that child. Here's a soda, sweetheart. You need to be like a normal kid, blah, 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 blah. Remove that asshole from your life. Literally. I don't care that she's blood. Boom. See ya. Take a hike. Literally. I mean, when I have kids, I'm going to have no space for that in my life, man. I don't want to be normal. No part of me wants to be normal. You don't want your kids to be normal, right? Anyone who is pushing you and your family to be normal, aka fat, sick, nearly dead, normal, anyone who's pushing you towards this as you're trying to make positive change to get better, anyone who's pushing you towards this is an asshole. A big one. They're not nice and they're a dummy. And they probably don't know that they're a dummy, but it's not an excuse because your life is your life and they're not in charge of it. And your kids are your kids and they're not in charge of your kids. Okay? So, that's what I wanted to get. That's literally my intro to this. I promise we're going to talk about fitness now. But I had to kind of get that out of the way just because me and the team started talking today. And I'm you know what, man? We got to touch on this conditioning thing. Is this this started with how to teach your kids to exercise or how to teach physical activity or how to change your thinking of fitness or whatever. It started with all that, this Clovis, hey, let's talk details and people want the science and this and that, right? I did a micronutrient masterclass last week. That was science. You can watch that science, right? We'll talk a little bit about science today, but not deep. Sometimes you just have to get hit in the face, stop and think about this, man. Are you living your life or are you living somebody else's life? Right? I don't care that your grandma thinks that giving your son grass-fed butter is going to raise his cholesterol. Grandma doesn't know shit. She has no idea, right? Like, don't consider the source, man. Like, I don't care what these people think. Like, I care about you. I care about you, like, so much. It's hard for me to even express the level, like, how much this work means to me, especially Clovis kids, right? So just, like, stop worrying about other people, man. Stop worrying about, like, what they think is healthy, blah, 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 what they're gonna think of your kids' eating habits, right? Because this is normal. Point this out to them. If they want to argue with you, this is normal in 2018. Normal is fat, sick, and nearly dead. Being normal will kill you. On top of it, you'll be miserable. You're going to be on an antidepressant, and you're going to be on an anti-inflammatory, and you're going to be on an anti-pain medication, and you're going to be sticking insulin in your belly and monitoring your blood, but you're going to be miserable. Being normal will kill you, right? Take it from the weird guy. Everyone thinks I'm weird. Guess what? I'm happy as shit, man. I don't have a boss. I don't do anything that I don't want to do. I love physical activity. I eat like a king. I feel amazing all the time, right? So your normal can go fuck itself. So, sorry, like, anyway, all right. Now we can get into the kids aspect of this. It's just, I felt like this was really important. I don't know if you guys... I know a lot of you feel peer pressure because you tell me about it. Like, those of you that aren't in the groups or anything, like, I get so many messages from people that are just like, oh my God, my doctor said this, my doctor said you're killing me, and my friend said that this, and my friend said that CrossFit that, and my blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, what do you think as a human? What do you want to do? What's your happiness look like? Forget everybody else's happiness, right? I mean, there are people that come to me where, like, I help them lose 35, 40 pounds. And all of a sudden they're like, my boyfriend says I'm doing it wrong now. And I'm like, what? You literally just transform your entire life. And, like, you're still letting one other person's opinion, like, make you second guess what we've done. Like, the success that we've had. Because it's not normal. It's not mainstream, right? What do you guys think? Leave me some comments. Let's see. What do we got for comments here? Womp womp. Yes, Rhea. That's an awesome hashtag. Sometimes I get in trouble because I swear on these things and you guys listen with your kids or your parents are conservative and don't want to hear it. I don't care about your parents' normal. Okay. What else we got? Yep. Anti-everything. Yeah, growing up, mom and dad did not exercise. Not sure how this fits into kids. We're going to get into this. I'm going to talk about the different kinds of exercise, what you should do with kids, how you should frame this with kids. So yeah, I mean, your parents are generally going to do what you do. Like, my dad lifted weights. My dad was a savage. Like, he'd get up at 4:30 in the morning and go lift weights and then go work a 12-hour day. He worked 80 hours a week because he was an entrepreneur. Workaholic entrepreneur. That's so weird. I don't know what that's like. I don't know where I got that from. Totally weird. But we love the things that we do, right? We love the things that we do. So other people's normal is not workaholic entrepreneur. You know, their normal is not mine, and my normal is not theirs. What else we got? I refuse to count calories. Yes. Carbohydrates are my enemy as a type 1 diabetic. Yes, Tiffany, I work with a boatload of type 1 diabetics. People, we take their insulin from 85 to 15 just units. Boom. It's type 1 is actually is actually a little bit easier than people think to manage. Like, type 2, very easy to manage. Type 1, a little more difficult, but we work with type 1 all the time. If you want to get into a custom plan, you can just hashtag buy custom macros on this video right here, and that will pipe you into the system. And I am Clovis. I'd rather eat eggs and bacon for breakfast than a freaking papaya. Yeah, I'm with you. That's absolutely true, right? Kimberly, you're loving this. Okay, good. I'm not sure. Yeah, the more feedback you guys give me, even if you don't have a question or something, if you just enjoy what we're talking about, let me know and we can keep talking, because sometimes I just feel like I'm ranting because I'm talking about stuff that's on my mind, because I really, really get annoyed by society, if you can't tell, because I fit into it so perfectly. Square peg, round hole. I don't know. Sorry. It's working out for me, though. I promise you. And I'm just used to being the weird one, all right? Stephanie, awesome, great. I will see you in I Am Clovis. Again, I Am Clovis members, we got new video content. We have new video content coming every day this week. It's going to be awesome, and I had a blast filming it, and I'm super excited about it. We are zoning in what you're saying. Hubby's watching. What's up, Nick? Welcome, dude. First one. I hope you like it. I'm talking crazy shit about all sorts of people, so hopefully you like that. Maybe you like that approach. I don't know. But, yeah, okay, so let's jump in and talk about this next thing that I want to talk about is don't teach your kids to diet and work out, okay? So now we understand this normal thing. 2018, being normal is being fat, sick, and nearly dead. Don't worry about society's normal. Society is loaded with assholes, and a lot of them are severely overweight and depressed. So don't listen to them. So let's get into this kids thing, right? So don't teach your kids to diet, and don't teach your kids to work out, right? If you're in Clovis Kids, you know my stance with kids, right? And that is, let them eat whatever they want, whenever they want, but limit the options. So it's still their choice. They're still choosing what they want to eat and when they want to eat it, but your house, like we talked about last week, is a food pyramid free zone. Oh, that doesn't exist. Why? Because the food pyramid is the one diet throughout all of recorded history that kills humans. And it's the only one that we teach to children. Documented to be the only diet that kills humans. And it's the one we teach to children in America. And the results speak for themselves. Diabetes, obesity, heart attacks, cancer, all these things, right? So my stance is let your kids eat whatever they want, whenever they want, but in Clovis Kids, you get your Clovis approved foods list. If your house only has approved foods, zero junk, and I'm adamant about this, and I don't care who gets upset by it, cold turkey, 100%. Clean the house out, no junk. There are no junk options ever. Your house is a food pyramid free zone. Your kids are safe there. And they're free to eat, go around the house and grab anything they want and eat as much as they want of it, and that's safe for them. That's my stance on nutrition for kids, right? They can eat whatever they want, just limit the options. Now, with physical activity, you want to take a different approach, and you want to give them as many options as you possibly can and let them choose, right? So in America, for most people, fitness is associated with misery, right? Like, I'm certain that every single one of you out there has done a workout where you're like, this sucks. I hate this. I never want to do this again. Or you wake up sore. Like, you go do it and you hate it. So as a result, you're never going to keep doing something that you hate, right? It's just not, that's not what long-term change looks like. So you fail, and then by the time you get to me, things have gotten so out of hand, like I talked about, that you're not healthy enough for any kind of intense physical activity. I might say, hey, go for a 20-minute walk a couple weeks, you know? So this is where the anti-fitness Justin misconception comes from. But what's happening is I really want to help people. And in America, what they do is, hey, you're fat. New Year's resolution, you need to eat healthy and go to the gym 6 days a week. Sign up for a gym membership, then you're super sore, you quit. Everybody quits by February. It's ridiculous. Like this crazy 0 to 100 approach is never going to work. So I meet you where you are, and I say, forget about fitness. It's not even on the table right now, right? If I'm your health coach, I'm not letting you do it. Take my advice or don't, but I'm telling you not to do it. Some people get upset by that, then they lose 30 pounds in a month, and they're like, holy crap, this is insane, right? I have to meet you where you are. So let's talk about saving your kids from this, so your kids never get to the point where they're not healthy enough for physical activity. So let's start by deepening your understanding of what fitness is. Now, I've done this in a couple other AMAs, so you might want to go back and check those out, clovis.store/AMA. Right? Yeah, clovis.store/AMA. That'll get you all the Ask Me Anything videos. I've done this fitness for fat loss thing a lot, okay? So fitness, as we know it, is complete horseshit. And let me tell you why. Because the only reason most people ever attempt to work out is they want to lose fat. This is why people work out. This is why 99% of people want to work out, right? Because they want to lose fat. The issue is fitness has nothing to do with fat loss. Literally, fitness has nothing to do with fat loss. Fat loss is 99.9999999% nutrition. How many people, if this is true of you, can comment on this video right now? I've set you up with custom macros, you followed them, didn't work out at all, and lost more weight than you ever thought you'd lose. It happens all the time, right? This is what I do. I create these transformations. I'm telling you, if you comment, let people know that this works, right? I know a lot of you by name in this thread right now that you've lost weight with zero fitness, because nutrition is the key to that. So fitness exists for just two reasons, okay? There are two reasons that we have fitness, neither of which are fat loss, you will notice. Number one is to build muscle. Number two is to improve specific skills. Right? Like if I'm a boxer, I need to box. I train jiu-jitsu, I have to train jiu-jitsu. If I want to be an Olympic lifter, I have to practice Olympic lifting. None of this has to do with fat loss, okay? So what's happening is most fitness protocols are useless Because you're dancing around like a moron in your living room, I'm sweating, and you're trying to lose fat, and it doesn't work because then the same Beachbody guy tells you to eat whole grain bagels. So you can't lose the weight doing these silly, silly things. So you're trying to do things, you're trying to do fitness that is not designed for fat loss. Fat loss is not here, okay? There's no fat loss here. So you're trying to do these things to lose fat, and they're things you don't enjoy doing to begin with. So you're doing something you don't enjoy, and you're not getting the results you want. How are you going to get sustainable change from that? You're not going to get a sustainable lifestyle change where you do this long term. So that's why you do Beachbody, P90X, 30 days, or Insanity, or whatever. So the exercise doesn't help you lose fat. So using it as a form of fat loss is like smashing your face with a brick every day, over and over. You're doing something that you hate, something that's painful, that's not going to yield you any positive benefits. So why do it, right? So if your goal isn't building muscle, the only reason that you would work out is to improve specific skills. So when you're doing this silly jump around your living room stuff, right, that must mean, the only reason you would do it, it must mean that your goal is to become the very best at completing a P90X video. That's your goal. I'm going to be the best P90Xer ever, right? No, that's nobody's goal. Nobody's goal is to get better at doing living room workout DVDs. If that's your goal, you're a crazy person, okay? Because that will impact your life in a positive way? None, okay? That's the thing. So what I'm saying is your goals are not aligned with the activities that you're doing. You don't need to do these silly things, and don't teach your kids this. Don't teach your kids this workout mentality. You don't want to do that. There is a different way. And especially with kids, this is going to be harder for you to adopt because it's going to be so new to you and you probably have decades of doing this in strange ways. So what we want to do, especially with kids, and this is, yes, I'm Justin the Paleo Guy. This all started for me through paleo, okay? So everything that I do is built on paleo principles, right? The foundation is paleo, and I move from there. If you were losing weight, I make you track macros, or I talk about anti-lectin diet, or all these things, right? So paleo foundation, built on a paleo foundation. If we talk about fitness, we're going to go with the Paleolithic, right? Ancestral. How is your body meant to be used, right? It wasn't meant for silly P90X workouts. It really wasn't, right? Like ancestral is conserve as much energy as you can until you need to use it, right? So our ancestors literally walked all the time. They were never sedentary. We're dealing with nomadic cultures, these hunter-gatherer tribes, right? So they're on the move constantly. They're foraging, and then they need all-out bursts of energy, where it's like, I need to lift really heavy things, or I'm building a shelter, or I have to run from a predator, or I have to run to hunt to kill something so that we can live, right? So I try to use my body the same way. Not exactly the same way. I'm not just doing sprints every day or anything like that, but it's this idea of functional fitness, right? So we're doing things that are functional. Functional fitness meaning that the adaptations that you're driving, this is the way exercise works, is you put a stressor on the body reacts to that stressor and adapts to it and gets stronger, right? Like they talk about tearing little muscle fibers, that's way oversimplified. That's not exactly what's happening in all weightlifting, but that gets real sciencey. You don't need to knock down a house to build a new house. You can just build an extension on the house. You don't have to destroy your muscle fibers. There's another thing, just overtrain, right? So that's the thing, is functional training means the forced adaptations that you create will help you in everyday life. From carrying groceries, to picking up your niece and nephew, to playing with your grandkids, to pick up softball with your buddies on the weekend, which I think is really important. Recreational activities are important. So I do some form of functional fitness every single day, right? And I can tell you what these things look like. So I've kind of just taken notes on this so you can understand. Like number one for everyone, and this is what I do every day, is a movement practice, right? So think of this as daily maintenance, right? So this is just movement. Notice I haven't used the word fitness, I haven't used the word exercise, I haven't used the word workout. Move your body, right? Movement. This could look like yoga, it could look like stretching, and I'm talking, movement, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, right? So maybe wake up in the morning, drink some water with your sea salt, right? Get out in the sun if you can, do this in your yard. Walk around your yard, move around your yard, do a little bit of yoga stretching, do some warrior one, right? Just wake up in the morning with a little bit of movement. My favorite is animal movements. So like you can look up free online videos. I'm sure if you did like an animal movement workout or animal flow videos or things like that, those are fantastic. Like bear crawls and ape and all these things, these lizard crawls, all these things you can do, they're fantastic for movement. Just move your body. Movements are the best, right? They're fantastic. Then the other things that I do, and again, you don't have to do this, I'm just walking you through this to get you out of this dedicated workout for fat loss bull that you're used to, right? Then I do skill training. These are things that I want to improve, right? Maybe I'm working on kettlebell training, or lately I've been doing handstand training, and I train jujitsu 2 nights a week, right? So these are things I want to get better at. They're all movement practices. I'm moving my body. If you believe in calories in, calories out, I'm burning calories, but I'm practicing skills. These are things that I love. It's not Tony Horton yelling in my face while I'm miserable and swearing at the TV, right? So those are skill training. Then, this is my favorite for families, and I do need to be better at this, admittedly, because I am an entrepreneur workaholic. I'm very good at these things. Now, what I recommend for families that I need to get better at is recreation. So this looks like going for a walk with the family after dinner, or going on a hike, or playing tag with your kids in the yard, or going to a local swimming pool and everybody's swimming a couple laps, have a couple races with the family, like go swimming, right? Or go to a rock climbing gym. Hey kids, we're gonna take you rock climbing or whatever, like, or go to the park and teach your kids how to do yoga, right? This should be like recreational stuff. This is fun activities. And then when we talk about maintenance, the number one, the fountain of youth for overall health, and I do think this one is important, but far less regularly than you might think, is resistance training. This is very heavy resistance training. And that probably goes against everything that Jillian Michaels ever told you, right? But very heavy resistance training. Resistance training is the only thing that increases bone density as we age, so it actually helps tremendously to prevent injury. And I'm talking very, very low reps, very, very high weight, right? Now, not 1 rep max. You're not doing your max, maybe 70% of what your 1 rep max would be, right? So let's say you're doing 5 reps. Like make 5 reps your max and do 3 sets of 5. And I'm talking about compound movements, okay? I want to talk to you about compound movements. I'm going to tell you what everybody else does. Compound movements are movements that work more than one body part at the same time. So if I'm doing a squat, let's say I'm working hamstrings, quads, glutes, my abs are engaged, all my back muscles are engaged, everything. It's a full body move. This is a compound move, right? Now my favorite, if you're worried about injury or mobility or things like that, free weight barbell training isn't the best for everybody. For some people it works. Something like Strong That's 5x5 is great. But you see me do these crazy ARX videos. Look up ARX training. That's crazy. The Body by Science book is fantastic, right? I go deep into all this stuff in I Am Clovis and how to use it. But resistance training is really the fountain of youth. And this, I'm talking once to twice per week. And it should never last more than 45 minutes. I mean, max. If you come work out with me and resistance train, I'll smoke your whole body in 15 minutes. Done. Literally. That's your maintenance dose. That's what we call MED, right? MED. This is minimum effective dose. So you don't need this 6 days a week, this 5 days a week, this nonsense, this Beachbody 80-day obsession. You're hurting yourself. Ancestral man, Paleolithic man would have thought you were a crazy person. They would have thought you were possessed by a demon doing these types of workouts. It's really ridiculous. Like, and I mean, not to be like a dick about it, like, look at me, right? I don't work out 5 days a week. I don't do this crazy nonsense stuff. Like, you don't need to, okay? And I want you to understand, I just want you to look at this, frame it differently, and frame it differently for your kids so that your kids have an easier go of it than you did. Don't ever teach your kids to diet and work out. Teach your kids to be physically active. Teach your kids to be physically active and teach them to do things that you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it. So now, let's look at the flip side of things and look at how everybody else gets in shape, right? Society's general ideas of fitness are ridiculous. They have zero functional application. So you go to the gym, you get on a treadmill or elliptical, read a magazine or watch a movie at the cardio theaters until you're huffing and puffing, everybody is miserable and hates it. Then you wander around from machine to machine like, what isolated move should I do now? Oh, I'm going to do bicep curls. I really need to do these bicep curls. now I'm gonna do tricep extensions. Get my triceps worked out, right? Like, and then you like, when are you ever in nature gonna sit down and lift weight and do quad extensions, leg extensions? Nothing about this is functional, right? That's not how the human body works. We've just designed these things for aesthetic physique muscles for the bodybuilding world, right? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense, and you don't need to do these things. Well, 4 sets of 12 reps sounds good because I don't want to get too bulky, right? It's like just craziness. Now, low weight, high rep training is the single fastest way to get injured. Like, it's absolutely the single fastest way to get injured. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculously unsafe, right? People think it's safe because it's light. It's just silly. And most steady state cardio obviously like negatively impacts your joints and your ligaments, and it's not good for cardio. Like endurance runners, like competitive endurance runners, are at a 70% higher risk of cardiac disease. 70%. This is clinically proven. People that do chronic steady state cardio every day, these people are world record holders, and they have a 70% higher risk of heart disease from all the cardio, what we call cardio, that's supposed to be good for your heart. Makes sense, right? Again, a societal norm. We don't know what cardio means. We just say it. Over and over and over, we say it. Cardio, cardio, cardio. Put you at a higher risk of heart disease. Clinically proven, people. Again, that's a societal norm. And you need to erase that societal norm. In everything that I say here, I want you to remember that 2/3 of the American population is overweight. More than 2/3 is overweight. More than 1/3 is morbidly obese. That's 40 plus pounds overweight. So if you think that I'm the crazy guy, that's fine. You can keep doing what the mainstream is doing. Just know that that's the road that you're heading down, right? So when it comes to physical activity, stop being normal. When it comes to physical fitness, the term I like to use, I was joking with Josh today, the wizard, is you need to date around, right? When it comes to physical fitness, you need to date around. Expose you and your kids to as many things as possible, because bodybuilding, CrossFit, and jogging works for some people. Those people are very rare, and society proves that, because for every one fit CrossFitter you have 1 million people who are overweight and absolutely hate CrossFit and would never do it. They do one and say that's the worst thing ever. But maybe those don't work for them. What about yoga, dance, hiking, swimming, tai chi, slacklining, rock climbing, gymnastics, boxing, mountain biking, acro yoga, kettlebells, softball, dodgeball, volleyball, whatever. Go do goat yoga, right? Literally, the list of physical activities is endless, and the odds are there is some form of physical activity that you love. There's some form of physical activity that your kids love. There's some form of physical activity that your significant other loves, or that your extended family loves, right? There's some form of physical activity that you and your family probably love, and you just haven't tried it yet. Because the go-to is mainstream. You're focused on goals. You're not focused on enjoyment. Physical activity should be all about enjoyment, right? If you don't enjoy it, you won't do it. So explore. Date around with physical activity. I'm seriously, go find a group of old people on Facebook and go do Tai Chi. Stand in the yard with them and do Tai Chi. What does it hurt to try, right? Really, what does it hurt to try? Join groups. There's Facebook groups for all these things in every town that you live in, right? So the issue is humans are failing because they're spending too much time trying to be like everyone else. They're doing shit that other people enjoy, right? That's literally trying to live someone else's life. So just get out of the workout, like regimented fitness thing, right? And just start moving your body the way it was designed to move. We need to adopt movement practices and physical activities that we love. And we desperately need to teach this to our kids. Physical activity should not feel like a chore. And that doesn't mean, if your kid doesn't love team sports, don't shove them in team sports. Because then every practice is miserable and every game is miserable. And he's associating physical activity with misery, right? Like, I played bar league softball. When I played hockey for 10, I loved hockey growing up, loved hockey. Then I played baseball, didn't love baseball all that much. It was kind of a chore. A lot of times I didn't want to go to baseball practice. So I have a negative association with baseball in my head. You know what I mean? Like, don't force your kid into something else. If the kid loves hockey, let him play hockey. If the kid loves acro yoga, go do acro yoga with him. Acro yoga is freaking awesome, by the way. It's insane. Get outside. The more unconventional, the better. but you need to try different things, okay? So date around. I know it's a weird term, but literally date around when it comes to physical activity. Try as many things as you possibly can. Let's see what we're looking at here. We got anything? We got a lot of questions. All right. Yeah, Jenny, that was awesome. Okay. Carlin, if you have custom macros, you should already be in the private online group. So we'll talk about that. We'll get into the ins and outs of I Am Clovis too. Let's see. Zoned in. Tiffany, my doctor put me in the ketogenic diet 1 week ago. I've been hypoglycemia daily. Okay, yeah, you need to monitor that. That was a risky thing for your doctor to do. I'm a little bit confused by that. If you're type 1 diabetic, I wouldn't have put you full keto, and I work with type 1 diabetics. So maybe we should talk about that. You might want to do this and click hashtag, comment hashtag buy custom macros, and we can talk about that because I don't agree with what your doctor did there. Sorry, I'm not telling you to go against his advice. I'm not a doctor. I don't give medical advice. I do not give medical advice. I'm not giving you medical advice now, but that's not what I would have done. Carlin, we'll talk about custom macros. What else we got? Emily, fitness didn't, right? Emily and I, once upon a time, had the same trainer, and it was difficult. Jenny, I worked out for the first 49 days, right? Lost nothing. Lost 6 pounds the first week after stopping working out. Plus, she has much more energy, so much inflammation gone, skin clear, more energy, feels like a powerhouse. Because she stopped working out. She was working out 6 days a week, if I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jenny. She was working out 6 days a week, right? Punishing herself. Yeah, Laura, I had a feeling, Laura, if you were into kettlebells, I had a feeling you'd be into animal movements. Where do I buy your book? I don't have a book, Jim, but this basically gives you access to everything in my brain. If you do hashtag custom macros, $97, you get custom macros, which is your custom nutrition plan. You get fitness recommendations, supplement recommendations, access to the approved foods list, access to IamClovis.com, which is a boatload of video content just like this, where I do deep dives on things, and all my recommended books and resources, everything, and you get access to the I Am Clovis group, which is awesome. Let's see. I can't go heavy, too much lifting when I was younger. Jim, misconception. I will teach you how to go heavy, I promise you, and it will be better for you. It'll be better for your injuries too. Trust me, I was a boxer. I've had shoulder surgeries, I've had sinus surgeries, I've hurt every muscle in my body. I was an animal, right? I can get you back to it if that's what you want. I did 80 day. Haven't worked out in almost 2 months. Have a shoulder injury, didn't realize I had. Oh no, bummer. Is it better to do movement, skill, etc. at certain times a day? Depends. There's something called your chronotype, so you can look up your chronotype. There's a book called The Power of When, and that depends, like, for real intense physical activity, if you were gonna do like a heavy resistance training day, that'd be better in the afternoon, like 3, 4, right around there, sometime between like 2 to 4 p.m. I tend to do jiu-jitsu. I don't have a choice because the classes are at night, but if I'm doing like handstand training or something like that, it's usually like early afternoon, right? I might wake up and be fasted and maybe do a little bit of yoga in the yard or something, and then maybe do some handstand training or something a little bit later. But that's probably going to be early, like probably mid to late morning, maybe early afternoon. What else we got here? Loved working out in the aerobic zone, right? That's fantastic. I've been intermittent fasting. That's the only thing that works for me. Yes, Francisco. Depends. Intermittent fasting depends. You have to do it correctly. It doesn't work for everybody. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody. If it works for you, awesome. Be your own detective and do what works for you. Jenny, yes, 6 days a week. Tiffany, buy custom, awesome. Thank you. Welcome to I Am Clovis. Kettlebells, TRX, animals are amazing workouts. Yes, functional and movement based. Yes, Laura, I knew you'd like this one. Okay, big question. My friend needs to have half her thyroid taken out. Can you work around that? Will this still work for her? Okay, listen. If you have a medical issue, right? I cannot give you medical advice. I am not giving you medical advice, right? If you lose half your thyroid or your whole thyroid, you're probably looking at some kind of pharmaceutical for the rest of your life. The odds that the thyroid being removed is necessary, probably slim to none. Now, I don't know your situation. I really don't, okay? So I'm not giving you medical advice. Do what your doctor tells you, okay? But I would definitely get a second opinion. I'd probably see a functional medicine doctor to talk about a thyroid. Functional medicine is not going to be covered by insurance. Suck it up, pay the money. You're talking about a very invasive surgery for your body that will change you for the rest of your life. Probably worth it, okay? Yeah, she could absolutely, the nutrition protocol she absolutely should follow. If you have thyroid issues, it means you're dealing with hormone imbalance, and you need to follow this. Like, literally, you need to. Gotta run. Thank you, Jim. Thanks, brother. If you want to go deeper, just let me know. We'll talk about resistance training and all that stuff. All right, let's take a look here. What else we got? All right, so I'm going to jump into Q&A here in a minute, but I just want to let you know, like, I want you guys to understand what this is, right? So this anti-Justin, anti-fitness Justin, right, this is not true. It's not true. I just want you to be able to use your body and use your body the way it's meant to. So in the Academy, we have the Clovis Manifesto, right? I say, my health is a gift and I will not take it for granted, right? So to sum up, I am the opposite of anti-fitness. My health is a gift and I will not take it for granted. In the beginning, if you come to me and you're sick, yes, I take away intense training. Absolutely. I'm going to say I don't recommend intense training. That said, I'm a firm believer, if you don't use your body in a very physical way, in physical ways, plural, if you don't use your body for all the wonderful things it can do, you're taking it for granted. I don't know about you, my health is a gift and I will not take it for granted, right? So it's like owning a muscle car and always driving the speed limit. Where the hell is the fun in that, right? Like that's you have a muscle car here. You need to use that muscle car for what it's designed to do, which is movement, physical activity. I am here to help you and your family live the fullest life you can live. The fullest, happiest life possible, right? In my opinion, there is no such thing as a full life in the absence of physical activity. It doesn't exist. What if you're on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Italy and a pretty girl says, want to jump off this cliff into the water with me? And you can't do it because you're too fat, sick, and nearly dead. That's not life, right? It's a ridiculous example, but I'm just telling you, like, you should be able to do things. And we'll get you to a point where you can live your fullest life. I'm not trying to help you lose weight and get healthy so that you can do P90X. I'm not trying to help you lose weight and get healthy so you can go do CrossFit. I'm trying to make sure you can do the trip to Florida with your grandkids and go swimming. And you can pick up volleyball with your buddies who you haven't hung out with since college because you haven't had the energy to leave the house, right? I'm trying to do these things. I'm trying to let you get into MMA, start training jiu-jitsu at 50 years old. Why not, right? Why not? Learn a new skill. I'm trying to help you live a fulfilling life. So I have to meet you where you are, and in the beginning that might be no fitness. And we continue working until physical activity that you never thought would be a possibility becomes your new reality. That's what I want to do for you. I'm not trying to increase your bench press weight, bro. I'm trying to help you live a fulfilled life where the options are limitless. Maybe you want to travel. It's hard to travel with a backpack full of pharmaceuticals and so much pain in your joints that you can't walk upstairs. You can't travel and do that, right? This is what I'm trying to help you guys with. I care about your life. I care about your fulfillment. I don't care about your abs. I don't care about your PR on your snatch. I don't care at all, right? I care about overall quality of life, particularly with your kids. If you can take these principles, this foundation of ancestral movement, play. We're talking about play, guys. Play, right? Your physical activity should be play. It should be de-stressing, right? You'll still get positive adaptation in your muscles. You'll still get more physically fit. You'll get better at these things. But it should feel like play. Stop punishing yourselves. You don't want to be normal. Being normal is fat, sick, and nearly dead. Being normal will kill you. And again, this is also why buy custom macros. This is why I'll go through this with you, because I want you guys to understand that I've tried everything. You cannot fathom the level of my nerdiness. Now, my nerdiness goes into every aspect of my life, whether it's the fact that I've been a professional musician for the last 15 years, right? The fact that I can play you 650 songs off the top of my head by memory, right? I'm a psychopath when it comes to learning. I'm a psychopath when it comes to mastery of things, okay? This is the way that I've been. So if I give you custom macros and you tell me what you want to do with your body, you want to try something you've never done, you give me a goal, like understand, I've done everything. Like I said, I played hockey for 10 years, played baseball for 6 years. I've done team sports, CrossFit, powerlifting, jiu-jitsu, backpacking, acro yoga, Pilates, kettlebells, animal flows, gymnastics training. Literally, I've done all of it. And I've gone very, very deep and worked with some of the top experts in the world on most of them, right? If I see something, oh, what's this cool Wim Hof breathing thing? I'm gonna pay somebody $250 an hour and I'm gonna go master it with them. That's the way that I work. It's the same thing I did with kettlebells. When I found out about kettlebells, I went and paid $250 an hour to become incredibly good at kettlebells, right? So if you guys want to learn about these things, I've done this. I've experimented with all of it. So you have something you want to try, boom, right there. That's where this stuff comes from, right? Got intrigued by MMA, wanted to train jiu-jitsu, now I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I will become a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I promise you that's going to happen. That's the way my brain works. So again, you guys can try some of the things and avoid the ups and downs or the downfalls or the obstacles that I've already been through. I can help you work your way around that with these custom plans and I Am Clovis. I can help you break societal norms and find exciting ways to bring play back into your life, man. That's one thing I'm gonna say. I Am Clovis, right? Clovis Academy. Clovis Kids. I've gotten real close with a lot of you guys. I see your lives intimately, and you know what? You're stressed as shit, man. Like, I want to help you with that so much, and if there's one de-stressor in this world, this is it, right? You don't have to Tony Robbins this thing and sit down and try to meditate for 20 minutes a day while your kid's screaming in the background. That might not be the way that you de-stress. But you might be able to take your kid out in the front lawn, sit him in the grass with you and say, want to crawl like a monkey, like mommy? And have some fun, right? Just look at this from a different angle, guys. The reason most of you don't exercise is because the image in your head is treadmills and dumbbells. And you don't want to do that. So ditch the norm. No more normal, guys. Being normal will kill you, okay? Being normal will kill you. Get yourself custom macros, get into the I Am Clovis group, work with me one-on-one, and we can talk about these things. I want to help. Remember, I'm always trying to help you see things from a different angle. So let's see, I'm going to pop in on some comments again. What we got here? At least that many songs. Yeah, it's probably more than 650 now, if I'm being honest. All right, what else we got? Gotta run. I'm Carla's friend. Have type 2 diabetes. Just diagnosed with follicular neoplasm of my thyroid. So supposed to have half thyroid taken out. Like I said, I would get a second opinion. You're not in a rush. I wouldn't say, honestly. I would definitely get a second opinion, but I would make sure your second opinion comes from a functional medicine doctor. Look up the Functional Medicine Institute and try to find a practitioner and get the proper blood work done. That's a huge decision that you're making. Huge decision. If you make it off the advice of one doctor, that is a scary choice to make. Yeah. Karen, buy your custom macros, Karen. Let's do it. How do I buy custom macros for me and Aiden? You just have to type the comment twice. So do one comment, buy custom macros, enter, hashtag buy custom macros, enter. If it goes in twice, you're gonna get credited with 2, okay? Let them know about the problems. I love the problems. I'll tackle the problems. Wasn't really sure why my doctor wants me to follow the ketogenic diet either. I'm 40 years old, 135, very attractive, and don't eat red meat. Hell yeah, good for you. That's a fantastic comment. I love that. I'm very attractive and don't eat red meat. 1, you should eat red meat. That's a misconception. Change that, flip that on its head. You should only eat pasture-raised, grass-fed red meat. You should never eat feedlot red meat. We can talk about that if you want to. But it is strange. A low-carb diet, anything under 100 grams of carbohydrates, yes, I can get behind that for a type 1 diabetic. We have to be careful with these things. But yeah, going straight to keto, that was tricky. I don't know, but remember, most doctors are not nutritionists. Most doctors have about 4 hours of study in nutrition. Don't take nutrition advice from a doctor unless it's a functional medicine doctor. What else we got? Yeah, you can buy both. My 10-year-old son has lengthy medical history and we need help. Okay, you can do this. I'm gonna keep play up there. Buy Clovis Kids. This is another hashtag you can use. Buy Clovis Kids, and that will get you access to Clovis Kids. Clovis Kids is a membership-only platform. This one is $127, and it gets you access for the entire family. So if you do buy Clovis Kids, you just get into the Clovis Kids program, you get the Clovis Kids approved foods list, you get access to my macronutrient calculator. It's the only macronutrient calculator for children in the world, and I invented it. I created the algorithm myself. So yes, we can help your kid 100%. What else we got? I've been following the protocol for almost a month and I feel great. Sometimes I feel I have too much energy. Does that mean I need more activity? Sure. Play it by ear. Listen to your body. Get outside and crawl around. Do some cartwheels. Whatever you want to do. Literally, like that's what I try to tell people with activity levels is it's like, this is kind of fun to do. Like if you just go outside in your yard, stand there, and you're going to feel super awkward. Even though no one's probably watching you. Do it at night if you want to. And just like, I'm going to try a cartwheel. I'm going to roll on the ground. I'm I'm gonna lay down and do some yoga poses in the lawn, right? It's weird. It seems weird. Do it. The more unconventional, the better. If you have energy, go outside and burn off some of that energy. What else we got? Oh, Keto Os. Carla, is that what you're talking? Oh my God. I feel like I almost need to do a masterclass on this. Keto Os, first things first, I know all these guys. Their hearts are in the right place. I know literally Ketogenics, Keto Os, prove it. All those exogenous ketones come from the same guy. They're all licensing the same technology because it's patented. It comes from Dominic D'Agostino. And I know all these guys. So I understand what they're doing. Exogenous ketones for me, if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go run a Tough Mudder and I need a little bit of extra energy, good idea. Exogenous ketones for fat loss, no, it doesn't work that way. Biochemically, it doesn't work, okay? You're putting exogenous ketones in, and then you're burning them off because they're in your bloodstream, and then you're just going right back to burning glucose. You never burn fat with exogenous ketones. It doesn't work that way. You can literally Google how ketosis works, and hopefully within 5 minutes of reading, you'll understand why Keto Os will not do shit for your fat loss. They're gonna hate me now, but they're all nice people. But yeah, just understand it doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work at all. And not to mention, it's MLM. It's multi-level. It's a pyramid thing. Just save your money. Save your money. That sucks. I feel bad because I really do know all these guys, and I feel like I'm going to catch some hate for doing that. But it's a biochemistry level. It is a very, very, very disingenuous, dishonest thing to tell people that they can drink something and lose weight from it. Right, that you can take exogenous ketones and it will put you in ketosis. That is one of the most disingenuous things you could possibly say to a person, and I have a real problem with it personally. So that's just me. I can teach you about ketosis if you want, and go back and watch the other AMAs and learn about ketosis. It's very important. So what else we got? You guys got any other questions you want to touch on? A couple questions. All right, so here's one, since we're only over a little bit. But Stephanie, hold up, don't worry about it. I'm doing this now, but you know, I can't do that all at the same time, but I'm going to get right to you. I promise. You'll get everything for I Am Clovis is going to be automated. You're going to know exactly what information to send me. I just can't do that now, but I promise we're going to do it. So just hold up, be patient with me. Thank you so much. We're going to crush this thing together. We're going to get fantastic results. All right? How do I get more info to help me like this? You can buy Clovis Kids, or you can go look at other AMAs. We have an AMA, clovis.store/AMA. This clovis.store/AMA. There's one called How to Set Your Kid Free in 30 Days. There's another one, I think it's AMA number 9, called Feeding Your Children and Their Gut Bugs. That's all about childhood nutrition. That's free information there. But the best thing you could do is set up and get a plan for Buy Clovis Kids and get into the Clovis Kids private group. That's what you want to do, for sure. What else we got? Karen, hold on, I'll explain. There's a lot of, is there more than one Karen? I'm confused. All right, so a couple things I want to touch on because I think one of them is really funny. So people wanted me to touch on pet food. Okay, pets, right? I thought about making this an AMA, and then I said, this is ridiculous. This does not need to be an AMA at all. So let me give you the cliff notes. Spoiler alert. All your animals are carnivores. Unless you have maybe a rabbit or you have a koala crawling around in your closet. If you have a cat or a dog, they are carnivores. Both of them are carnivores. There is almost zero evidence. Some people try to claim that they're omnivores. They are carnivores. If they were in the wild, they would eat meat. That's what they would do. So feed your animals a carnivorous diet, which is what I do with my dog. I had a ton of issues with my dog before I went paleo, and then was like, oh, my dog's fur is falling off, and I'm constantly at the vet doing hundreds of dollars of testing, and he's sneezing and has allergies, and it's like, what is wrong with this dog, right? This is crazy. Then you realize you're feeding your dog nothing but corn and grains. Like every dog food is just loaded with grains. Wheat, soy, corn, some of them have dairy in them. It's ridiculous, right? So there's only 2 types of animals in the world that get fat. Human beings and the animals that human beings feed. No animals get fat or sick from their diets in the wild. None. So why, all of a sudden, do we have fat domesticated animals? We have fat dogs, fat cats, they have arthritis, and all these crazy things, right? It's ridiculous, right? Joe Rogan has a great bit about this. There's a hashtag online called #VeganCat. These are vegan animal owners who decide to feed their cats vegan diets because they don't want there to be any death in the world, right? And then their vegan cats become blind and become diabetic and get fat and can't walk, and they die slow, miserable, painful deaths. You can't make this up. Look up #VeganCat. I use Signature dog food. Check out Signature, Zignature, like signature with a Z. Signature for pet food. That's cool stuff. Any questions about pets? That was pretty quick, right? Karen, there's a lot of us in the Clovis Kids. It's a wonderful group. I have a 10-year-old son too. Come join. Yes. Karen, we already talked about your thyroid. I just touched on your thyroid. Where'd you go? Did you disappear? We had a whole conversation about your thyroid. I'm confused. I'm always confused. Krista, we don't need an AMA about pets. Feed your pet meat. You'll be just fine. I promise. Okay? So another thing I wanted to touch on is cultural considerations for nutrition. This is a big one because last week I talked about blue zones, and I'm going to leave this up here, but we talked about blue zones and how there's different blue zones, like the Kitavan, Kitavan, however you want to say it. That culture is in Papua New Guinea, I think, and their diet is mostly sweet potatoes. Like they eat like 70% of their calories from carbohydrates. Okinawans eat like 40 to 60% of their calories from carbohydrates, and it's white rice. And then you have like northern cultures that are living in like the Arctic or Eskimos, let's say, that 80% of their caloric load is coming from blubber. And all these people are eating very, very different diets, but they're all just fine, right? So the issue is humans thrive on a vast array of diets, right? With different macronutrient ratios and everything. So I used to make this joke with bodybuilders. So like, I do a cheat day because The Rock does a cheat day and he eats pizza and brownies and blah, blah, blah. And I would say, The Rock is a 260-pound Samoan who's worked out for 6 hours a day for the last 30 years, right? So, and he's on every steroid in the world, like literally every steroid. So when you are a 260-pound Samoan on all the steroids, you can eat like The Rock eats. Until then, you can't. So the question was, how come some people thrive on hummus? Or how come some people thrive on miso, which is a soy-based product? Or how come some people thrive on animal fats and some people thrive better on plant proteins or whatever, right? So a quick way to do this is genetic testing with 23andMe. Telomeres is another really good one. I'll put these in the show notes. DNA Fit is pretty great, and they actually partner with 23andMe, so you can run your ancestry. And a good starting point is, where did you come from? So if your family is from Western Africa, don't make your diet mostly Asian foods. Don't start eating white rice and miso. If you're Eastern European, don't start eating like an Eskimo and eating whale blubber, or doing the Kitavan diet and eating 70% of your calories from sweet potatoes. Or if your family comes from Greece, like if your grandparents like immigrated here from Greece, eat a Mediterranean diet. Like start with a Mediterranean diet. This is the best starting point, because it's a good starting point because never in the history of mankind have we been able to just ship food from all around the globe. Like you can get whatever food you want from whatever country, whatever continent on Amazon and deliver it to your door. That's weird, right? Your body hasn't evolved to eat these things. That's why like Eastern Europeans usually do really well with dairy. Asians, nope. Like 65% of Asians are lactose intolerant. Right? So they don't want to say, hey, I know this guy, he's Eastern European and he does great with dairy, I'm going to start drinking dairy. That's silly, guys. There are genetic differences, biological differences, everyone's physiology is different. So anyway, yeah, that's a quick little hack, biohack. You can do 23andMe, or Ancestry.com is kind of lame. I would actually recommend Telomeres, that's the new one. Let's put this up here. Telomeres. They give you like the deepest dive into your ancestry and where you come from, so that's a good thing, the cultural thing. That's just considerations to take into. Just don't eat things that are way, way off base from your genetics traditional diet of where your people originated from. Does that make sense? Right? It's another reason why like a lot of cultures really don't do well with spicy foods, because nightshades aren't available everywhere. So, Anyway, so that was AMA number 21. We talked about how being normal will kill you, and it will. I promise. Let's see whatever we got. Flea and Tick prevention for dogs. Okay. that was a little tricky. I recommend collars over anything rather than the pills. And I also think that a lot of the pill stuff that they're giving you is actually kind of nonsense if you're feeding your dog properly. If you're giving them a proper diet, they're gonna have way less issues with like parasites and worms and shit like that. Because you ever seen if your dog's stomach gets upset, he'll go outside and like start chewing grass. They start doing weird things when they're sick. If you get the diet right, you're gonna have a lot less problems. Flea and Tick, there's gotta be some kind of, I'll look it up, there's gotta be some kind of company or something that's doing natural prevention, I would imagine. I don't do it for my dog at all, and I've never had a problem. So, I don't know. Sometimes I think we get oversold on stuff, honestly. What else we got? But I can't look it up and see if they have some kind of like natural issue or something like that. If you're Italian, does it mean you can eat pasta? No. And let me tell you why. Because if you look up different types of wheat, flour, all these things are much different. Like if you go to Europe, the bread is different, the pasta is different. There are actually different breeds. We have something called dwarf wheat. It's ridiculous. Like all the wheat we get here is genetically modified out the ass. It has like no nutrient density, way higher gluten issues, way higher gluten content. There are plenty of other proteins besides gluten that cause problems. Gluten gets all the blame, but there are tons of proteins like that are causing issues. Glyphosate is all over every single wheat field that we have, and all the soy, all the beans are GMO, just like all soybeans are GMO. It's all Monsanto glyphosate. It's horrible. So that's the other thing that you have to remember, dude, is like, because your ancient ancestors, like they ate pasta, it did not have glyphosate, it was not made by Monsanto, it was not GMO. Like you're talking about traditional, if you go back even great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, you're talking hundreds of years ago. These monocropping monstrosities that we have are products of like the last 50, 60 years. So no, you can't, unfortunately. Like Wonder Bread that you pick up, or like Prego pasta, I don't even know brands of pasta, I don't know. But pasta that you go buy at Kroger or Walmart or whatever, that ain't what your grandparents were eating for pasta. So the answer is no. Unless you want to move to Italy and find a little mom and pop place that does it traditionally, then you can eat pasta, then and only then. So no, that does not mean that at all. You can't type tonight if you're Italian, doesn't eat pasta. If you have a huge mixture, okay, good question. I would try to find what the biggest percentage is. Like, again, that's why I would probably do something like telo years, because telo years narrows it way, way down. So a couple things are going to happen here. You're either going to have a lot of food sensitivities or not so many food sensitivities, right? And I would just go with whatever the biggest percentage is. I would start there and then try. Now, remember, guys, we're only talking about problematic foods, right? So we're talking about like legumes, like hummus, chickpeas, grains, dairy. You don't need any of that stuff to live a healthy life at all. Just because, like, I'm lactose tolerant, I don't eat dairy, grass-fed butter occasionally, right? So you don't need to do these things. It's a matter of like, do you want to? Do I desperately need, I'm gonna kill myself without pasta, right? Then figure out a kind of wheat that works for you and order it from Amazon from a different country and get it shipped to your house and pay a bunch for shipping. That's the only way you can make this stuff work. Like, I'm talking about for problematic foods, because generally speaking, across the board, every single country is gonna start with whole foods. It's gonna be meats, vegetables, starchy tubers, things like sweet potatoes, okay? And maybe some nuts and seeds, right? So meat, including fish, vegetables, nuts and seeds, starchy tubers. That's what everybody eats. All humans, across the board. That works for humans. So I'm only talking about this cultural thing is just for problematic foods. If I had it my way, none of you would experiment and try to add in problematic foods because they have no nutritional value. You don't need them. Just saying you can experiment if you want to. Let's see here. I hope my answer includes tomatoes. Depends. Again, American tomatoes are going to be way different than old school Italian tomatoes. Yeah, exactly. Heirloom stuff tends to be better, but again, Jenny, my thing is, what's the nutritional value? There's no reason for it. So you're trying to remove some of the negative, but there's still no positive. There is no net positive. There's no net positive for these foods. There's just no nutritional value. I did 23andMe and cut out all those foods and still no weight loss, lots of inflammation. Then you have something else going on with those foods. So 23andMe is not going to tell you the whole story. I'm certain that my approved foods list is probably far more restrictive than your 23andMe data was. So, and that's the other thing. Like, what did we just talk about? Your ancestry may say one thing, you're going to do well with these foods or whatever, but it's just because white rice is good in Okinawa, the white rice that you're getting here might not be the same. It doesn't come from the same crops, doesn't come from the same soil, doesn't come from the same company. There's so much to think about this. Now I almost wish I didn't go down the cultural thing, because I would rather just have you guys not go down the roads with these foods, right? And again, Diane, the only way, if you want to lose weight, the only way you're going to do that is you're going to have to track macronutrients. Because if you've tried this experimenting and it hasn't worked, you're going to have to track macronutrients. I would do buy custom macros and get this stuff going. Do you know we can buy seeds to buy our own veggies? I don't, actually. It's something I could research for you, but I don't do any gardening. There's some people in the group, like Rhea. Rhea might know about this. There's probably somebody out there in the Clovis Academy that grows their own vegetables. So Clovis Academy, assemble. I need your help. Answer dude's question and see if they can buy seeds and stuff, because that would be cool. So what do you guys think? Live Ask Me Anything number 21. I like this one a lot. Being normal will kill you. It's very important. Go back and listen to it again and just think about all this peer pressure that we have, right? All this pressure from people, right? There's so much pressure, so many opinions, so much nonsense. Just go play. Go play. Have some fun. Do some cartwheels, do some handstands, crawl like an animal, try some yoga, go do goat yoga. Go try acro yoga. Take a beginner's acro yoga class. It's super fun. Get a partner and do beginner's acro yoga. Go for a hike. Play tag with your kids. Go to a local pool. These kinds of things, right? We want to learn these things. Seedsnow.com. Awesome. From Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Everybody check that out if you want to grow your own stuff. All right, guys. That's it. So we went about an hour and a half. This is live. Ask Me Anything, number 1. Do all the things. Share this with your people. Tag your people. If you think anybody would get any benefit from this, tag them. Bring them over to the page. Add people into the Clovis Academy. If you're already a member of the Clovis Academy, click Add Members. Add your friends in there. Follow us on social. Just about everything is at The Clovis Culture. Let's see. Let me put that up there for you. Instagram, all that stuff, at The Clovis Culture. And you can find me at Justin Nault. Basically everywhere. Yeah, so thank you guys so much. This is live. Ask Me Anything, number 21. Great AMA. Thank you, Krista. I hope they're all good. I try to make them all good. I try my best. It's some work, but we get it done. Thank you guys so much. I've been traveling a lot. I've been out of pocket for a bit, and I'm going to be here in town in Nashville for quite some time. I don't have any travel plans right now, so I'm going to be hard at work making new content in I Am Clovis, new content in Clovis Kids. Remember these hashtags, they work on all videos at any time. Hashtag buy Clovis Kids, that'll get you into Clovis Kids. Hashtag buy custom macros, it's going to get you into IamClovis.com, your own private Facebook group, your own custom macros, all the stuff. Anyone who bought tonight, thank you guys so much. That's how I keep this going. That's how I can keep giving free content, because you guys are supporting us, and that means the world to me. Thank you so much, guys. Again, new content in I Am Clovis. We have updates on your Because I Know Better t-shirts. Those are shipping this week. Also, all sorts of exciting stuff going on. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of Clovis. Thank you for being a part of these AMAs. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for listening. My name is Justin Nault. Go out, love your people, do amazing things, be healthy, and stop worrying about other people's opinions. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.